Welcome, everyone, to another episode of
Why the long face?
where Paul and I get together and talk about
Utter nonsense. Important nonsense.
rubbish.
Rubbish. Exactly.
Exactly. So just, it's important to us, and that's all that matters.
It's important.
Exactly. So, we made it through another week without Negan killing somebody. So,
Yeah, but
what'd you think of the episode? I mean, first of all, you got to see a lot of things happen that kind of explains Negan a little bit. So, what'd you think?
I wanted to see what's his name, Jesus. I wanted to see what his plan was. But no, you got to see Carl's eye. I think that's the biggest thing that everyone wanted to see. I wanted to see that socket, that gaping socket. That's what everybody wanted to see. It was a good episode.
It kind of explains where he's coming from. He's not pure evil, because if you saw the episode, you saw that when he's talking to Carl and he's making fun of Carl and he's just like, man, that socket, it's just nasty, and he sees that Carl's starting to like almost cry. He's just like, oh geez, I'm sorry.
Yeah, but was that sincere?
It was. He could be sincere. I mean, he can definitely.
Mike, you don't know him.
I know him. I used to hang with him back in high school.
I don't know about that.
Back in high school, we used to hang.
He was your teacher in high school. Wasn't he? Isn't he a teacher?
Well, now he's
in the comic.
He's like what is he, like 5 years older than me? So.
No. I mean, in the comic, they say he was a teacher, wasn't that it?
I don't know. There is a mini comic on him. I didn't read it.
Oh, I thought they said something like he's a gym teacher or something to do with some kind of education system. I don't know what in the education. Something. I don't know if a counselor or a teacher or a principal.
Maybe he was a gym teacher, because that would make sense.
Yeah.
Because gym teachers could be jerks like that. And then when they hurt your feelings, they're like, hey, walk it off.
Walk it off. Do 2 laps.
Do 2 laps and then call me in the morning. But yeah, I mean, it was interesting to see him be like that. And then when he was talking to the other girl, when he's talking about, she's like, oh, we're practically starving. He's like, really?
Well, that's like a woman to exaggerate, but yeah.
And then, she's crying and he's like, oh, hey, sorry. If you want, I'll screw your brains out,
If you'd like to. And she slapped him.
Yeah.
You didn't kill her.
No. So I'm saying he's a complicated character. He's definitely got a mean streak in him. But he's also soft on children and women.
Yeah, but it becomes painfully obvious when that person's crossed that line that he's done.
Oh yeah.
Got the burned face.
Yeah.
It's almost kind of unfair because he's taking a shining to Daryl, which he wants to break, and he's taking a shining to Carl.
Right. But he also wants Rick.
Any other setting, would they be given that leeway? If these were just members of, hey, turn that damn ring off. If these were any other members in that other, what was that? What's that? Hilltop? Would he be the same way to these people?
I guess it would depend.
If it wasn't our group.
If it was Jesus, he probably would. But probably anybody else, he probably wouldn't tolerate it. He just likes badasses to be on his team, is what it is. Because, he's very impressed.
Well, it's easier to work with him than to work against him, probably.
Well, yeah. Yeah. I mean, I like the part when, Carl mowed down some people and he's hiding behind one of his minions and he's just like, you know what, kid, I got to be honest with you. You scare the shit out of me. That's funny.
Yeah, but that was him. That was him being joking too.
Well,
I don't think that was him being serious.
Yeah, but
I mean, maybe he believes that Carl is a real threat, but I don't think he's like, oh, out of everybody, he scares the shit out of him.
No, but he just knows that Carl, if left to his own devices, could become something more that could worry him later. He's just controllable now, and that's when he wants to get him while he's controllable. At least that's his plan.
Well, he's the progeny of Rick Mother effing Grimes.
Exactly.
Yeah, but seriously though, this is like a blow. I don't think everybody is like, what is up with Rick? Why is he letting this all happen? I know you said he's got a plan up his sleeve and all that stuff, but still, this is still long for him to be keeping people in the dark for.
Well, you know what it is it's the whole. And it's smart for him to do it this way, because if he starts getting people involved in trying to rebel, somebody's going to act out. And if they act up, they can get killed. So it's.
But they are, though. They are acting up. Who's the. Rosita's getting a bullet.
Mm-hmm.
Michonne's like, take me to Negan. And then Carl, take me to. He's going to Negan. So there are three main players that are rebelling.
Right. But Rick is trying to get them to not rebel so that way they don't get killed, and that's his plan. He wants to give a certain aura that he is defeated right now because he doesn't know what to do, but as soon as he figures out what to do, then then it'll be easier for him to get everybody involved and to let them know what his plan is, rather than give them false hope right now.
But could he be biding his time until his beard grows back?
I think that's what he's trying to do. He's trying to become a werewolf.
As soon as the beard grows back, I will then be a badass.
Yeah, he's trying to become a werewolf. Is what it is.
Oh.
He, what was that Michael Landon movie, Teenage Werewolf?
Yeah.
That's what he's trying to do.
But he's not a teenager.
No, not even close. But it's still interesting to see how the ending part of it, when he goes to their place,
the baby,
and has the baby.
Yeah, I didn't expect that. I didn't expect it to be him to be like. He seems to kind of generally be like, oh, hey, this is great. I like having a baby in front of me.
Right. Yeah. That's why I said he's a complicated character. He's not the typical black and white that you remember.
But then at the end he says, maybe I should kill everybody and take this place for myself. Because they give you a wide shot of where his place. It's like an industrial oil plant or something, like a factory or something.
Right.
Which makes sense for stronghold purposes, but I mean, look at where Rick lives. I mean, crap. That's probably better than the houses that we both live in.
Yeah.
That neighborhood.
It is. Yeah.
I mean,
it's funny to see him take off his boots and he's feeling the carpet in his toes.
Yeah. At first I'm like, what is he? Oh, okay.
Yeah. And then the looking at running water and stuff like that. It's all the stuff that they're enjoying that he doesn't have. Yeah. So it's going to be interesting to see where next episode is, because listening to the Howard Stern thing, he said that the next two involve him, and it's going to be big storylines.
So we're one down through that. So then the next one.
Yeah, the next one will be another big storyline, which would be kind of cool to see what it is. Go ahead.
I was going to say that the boy who found the hunter up in a tree.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what happened? Like, how did that? Like, what, did he just die up there? Like, that's kind of an awkward.
It's a tree stand.
I guess he was. I know. I guess he was strapped to the tree. Then I guess.
Right. Yeah. I mean, what hunters? I don't know if you've ever seen tree stands before, but
yeah. And usually I don't see them that small. Usually they're, like more like a tree house, because they usually go back there every year. But this is like one on the fly type of a thing.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I've seen tree stands where it's just a piece of wood, like a base wood, and then what they do is they strap themselves into the tree.
Ah, okay. So he strapped himself in and somehow passed away, and then he's trapped there.
Right. Yeah.
Interesting. And then they always rot. They always rot through whatever is holding them.
Exactly. Well,
Like the chain and the like when Rick jumped to that guy that hung himself.
yeah. Yep, that guy. Or when they pulled the bloated
Oh, that was the worst.
the bloated one out of the well.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty nasty.
That was just yeah. Ew.
The floater.
But I wasn't sure when Michonne was kind of calling them out with the whistle. I was like, what is she doing?
Mm. Yeah, 'cause
Like I was like, at first I like when they started following, I'm like, oh, is she gonna like lead a trail of them over to Negan's place or something?
mm-hmm.
And then I was like, oh, okay, she's already killing them. I'm like, what is going on?
Yeah. Yeah. I really didn't know what was going on with that either, because that's kind of interesting what she did. Just laid him out on the road so that way,
You can't drive over them,
No,
really.
no.
But then I mean, you probably could with like an SUV, but you're gonna be like, what's going on? You're gonna stop and say, what the hell's going on here?
Yeah. You definitely would like to find out what's this about.
But what is who's that chick? Is she anybody
I
of importance?
want to believe she was. You know what? I'm already confusing storylines because I'm thinking it was the chick that they were with that one time where Maggie was with her and.
Oh no, I don't think it is. That's the one. That's the one that was making out with Negan.
Yeah.
So, but she, you would think she would be like, okay, hey, I know you shouldn't do that. You think she would like kind of tell Michonne, hey, don't do this. You don't want to do. But she was like not wanting to give up Negan.
Yeah. No.
Like fully loyal.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, they are brainwashed. It's kind of like a cult.
But you know what? The guy with the burnt face,
Mm-hmm.
he does. Yeah, I don't sleep. I watch TV right until morning.
Yeah. I mean, how does he
So you
watch
see
TV
that
unless he has
is-
a VCR or something?
Well, that's if you saw the one episode in the beginning, he was watching like, what was it? It was Who's the Boss
Oh, okay, that's right. Yeah.
on VHS.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he something's gonna happen with that dude. He's not. He's gonna turn or he's gonna do something that's gonna allow Negan to fall. I think.
Well, what did you think about the note that was passed to Daryl?
Yeah, he didn't do. We didn't see what happened with him. He just got to know. He didn't actually act upon it yet.
Right.
I don't know. It's almost like another trick, though.
Mm-hmm.
But then again, maybe it's not.
Do you think Daryl's
don't
going
know.
to act on it, or is he just going to leave it alone?
Well, I don't even have a guess for that, dude.
Because remember,
I mean,
they're testing him all the time.
But that's the thing is, Daryl. If it's Daryl being Daryl, he is going to go.
Right.
But if he's trying to, I don't think they're going to break him, dude. I don't think they're going to break him. I think if anything, he's going to fall in line for the greater good, but he's still going to be loyal to the rest of them. Even if it's a point where he has the gun on him or that bow and arrow on him or whatever, he's going to turn it towards somebody else, not towards one of his peeps.
Well, you heard what Negan said. He said, Daryl thinks that he's rebelling, but actually he's, doing exactly what I wanted him to do.
He's going to fall in line. I don't know. I don't think so, dude. I think he's wrong. I don't think Daryl's going to. I mean, not that I'm a big Daryl fan. I just, how his character is, I don't think he will.
What?
Because time and time again, when Daryl's always been like, oh, you think he's going to do this or that, he always surprises you with like what he does.
Well, again, he's an unpredictable character because he's made up.
No,
so
he's unpredictable for you because he's not in your comic.
Well,
so you
because
can't.
There's really nothing to base him off of. Like, in the comic, yeah, you can base everybody off of their characteristic and know kind of where they're going. But Daryl sometimes can be a real badass, and then sometimes he's just like...
No, yeah, he shows a lot of humanity.
Yeah.
But no, yeah, he breaks down. I'm not saying he doesn't, but he's always true to, he always has somebody in the team's back, no matter what. Even when Who was there one where he was after that chick? He went after her, that girl that they eventually had to kill.
Right.
The blonde-haired chick.
Yeah, right.
He went after her.
Yeah, he went trying to follow her, but he didn't catch her. And then he ended up being with that motorcycle gang for a while.
Yeah, but I don't think he's going to. I don't think he's going to turn. Like I said, he may eventually fall in line, but when it's going to come down to it, like there's going to be him holding the gun on one of the original group, and somebody's just going to say, "Yeah, shoot him, do it." He's not. He's going to shoot the other person. That's what I think.
Well,
if it comes down
for the purpose of the TV show, obviously they're going to have him do what you said, but in real life, he probably would have been broken a long time ago.
Well, dude, zombies, it's not real life.
Right, but if somebody was torturing you kind of like they're torturing him, you would eventually say, you know what, it's just easier to just give in than to keep up with this torture.
Yeah, it is easier. But if you're a hero...
Nah. No such thing.
No such thing.
So, did you get to watch any of the Attack on Titan?
I have officially seen the first episode. That's it. Because I watch it right before I go to work, so it's like 15 minutes here, and it's it's almost half the episode because they're only like 20 minutes long, 25 minutes long. So it took me 3 days to watch it.
So what'd you think? It's only the first episode. So it doesn't give you
the
much.
First episode. Yeah, no. The first episode. The first time I watched it, it was American dubbed over, and I enjoyed it. Then it was Jap subtitled the next 2 times I watched it, and I was like, just because I have to read it. It was okay. I just don't like how they're putting so much importance on this little kid. Does he become like somebody later on as he gets older?
Yeah.
Okay. But I'm just like, so like he's like better than the guard, but then the guard like kind of helps him at the end too. That guy with the mustache and the blonde hair.
Yeah.
Goofy looking guy.
Right.
Is he anything else in this series, or that was pretty much it?
You mean the guard guy?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. He's not anything
Because he
special.
seemed like he was kind of like, because towards the end he was like, oh, we can't close the doors yet. We got to leave them open. So he was kind of a good dude.
Yeah.
Even though he was drunk at the beginning. But so what I don't understand is they look like some of them look like a normal human, and then some of them have like these weird mouths.
Right.
So so you never find out what they are, because I know I read some of the thing where the one boy eventually turns into one of them.
Right.
Briefly. So are they humans that got turned into this?
I don't know. Again, they left us hanging. It's been a couple of years since for season 2 to come out, and
oh really?
Yeah. So for some reason they're kind of stalling a little bit, even though they've made a live action movie on it.
That's probably why.
And
they put their ideas focused someplace else.
Yeah. So it's still up in the air. I mean, if you read the manga, it'll probably explain everything, but
what? So they're in this. There's 3 walls around the city.
There's more than 3.
Okay.
There's more than 3. If you see, there's different districts, but it's been whittled down so much that now they're starting to get to where now it's like 3 walls now.
Okay. So, so how long have these creatures been there for? These are they calling them Titans?
I think they're calling them Titans. Yes.
Even the little one, because some of them don't look that tall at all.
No, they're not. Yeah.
And some of them look, obviously look taller than some of them are the giant ones that are, like their skin is like their muscles are exposed.
The ones with the muscles that are exposed are usually the bigger Titan. They're the 25-meter Titans or whatever it is.
Yeah. So they just look like they're like, okay, I want to get them inside. That on the first episode, that's what it looks like. My goal is to get them inside, and that's it.
Right. And from what I believe, is that they are possibly kind of like the lead character. They might be humans, that can transform
Evolved.
into Titans, and then after
Transform back?
then they can transform back. Yeah.
Hmm. So the reason this wall was put up was because of them, or there just was a wall there?
No, because of them. So what they did was they walled off.
So those creatures have been around for 100 years?
I don't think it's been 100 years, but I think.
Well, the boy said because we've been safe behind this wall for 100 years.
Oh, has it?
We may not be safe by tomorrow, he was saying. And then right after that, shit happens. Like after he says that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, again, I don't remember a lot of the lore because it's been a couple of years since I saw the last episode. But yeah, I mean, it's humanity is now in that wall, inside those walls now. That's the last pocket of humanity.
And the rest is just given away to these giant things, and they just roam around.
Yeah.
There's no, like, they don't walk up to each other and like, hey, how you doing? And shake each other's hand. They just walk slowly and look for people to eat.
Yeah.
Or to chew up.
They're kind of like zombies.
Yeah.
They're just kind of walking around with the mentality of a child. And, you know, again, there's no real good explanation except that, you know, I just kind of like some of the action when later on they kind of discover, you know, certain things, and you know, they start, once you start getting into some of the really good action, I don't want to really ruin it for you, but once they start getting into some of the real good action, you're like, oh, that's pretty awesome.
So there's never no dialogue between those creatures and humans?
No.
That's hard to do. I mean, what do you...
Yeah, I mean...
Why can't you just create a bomb and drop it on them or something?
Well, again, if you see the level of technology that they're at, it doesn't seem like they're able to create something like that with the technology that they have.
Okay. So it's not like our world in the future, it's just someplace.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or...
Yeah, it was all right. I just... Some of it was like there was a lot of animation just to get the guy to break through the wall, the giant guy, and then to stop.
Yeah.
Like he had to put, like he was like stopping like a speeding comet to stop. And I'm like, really? There needs to be that much animation gone into just stopping after the running part?
Well, they had to show that, you know, he was using his full force. Also,
but they're indestructible. They're indestructible. Like weapons don't harm them.
Well, the weapons that they have cannot harm them, except for the blades that the guardsmen use.
And then what's special about those blades?
Well, they're really sharp, and what they do is they're supposed to get them. The weak spot is in the back of the neck.
Okay.
So they have to take a chunk off of the back of the neck to expose the nerves, and once you sever that, then they're down.
For the real big ones, or any of them?
Any of them.
Oh, I thought one of them they blasted one of the smaller ones with a cannonball. It looked like it killed them.
Well, they might have, but
it wasn't. It was one of the smaller of the zombie-like ones. Because they were shooting at the big thing, and it just exploded off them. But then they were showing how they were shooting, and one of them hit into one of the little ones. It just kind of exploded his head.
Well, I mean, they might have done that, but normally they just don't have the weaponry to really fight them off.
So the real big ones are the ones that are mostly impervious to everything.
Right.
Right.
The that and did you get to watch any of the Soul Sword Arts online?
No, I didn't watch any of that.
Well, when you get around to it, you got to see that one.
I have to watch my TV shows.
And that is
Barney's Place. What's the name of that show?
Barney Miller.
Barney Miller. Fish. No. Just I'm trying to catch up. You know, I've been trying to catch up with Supergirl actually because I wanted to watch that crossover event.
Right.
So I found out that Supergirl was the very first one. I didn't watch it. I didn't want to watch it yet because I haven't caught up to that. So I was like, you know what? I'll wait. because the action was already kind of going on in Flash already. So I was like, all right, I don't need to really watch it.
Right.
So I just kind of been trying to catch up on episodes of that. Also, there's a good show. I don't know if you ever heard of Ray Donovan.
Yes, I've heard of it.
That one's a really good show because it's just like so much going on each episode. Like just from the get-go, episode 1, you'll be like, "Whoa, this is a pretty good show," and then you just kind of get hooked into it. So that's a good show to check out. It's not superheroes. It's not sci-fi. It's like he works in Hollywood. He helps famous people. Like if shit happens, he kind of fixes it. Like the guy woke up with a dead hooker, so he's like, okay, do this. And, he kind of gets things done, spins things. But he's also kind of like like people like, hey, I'm having a problem. Could you go talk to this guy? So he's kind of also a tough guy too.
Right.
And then his family's all whacked out. His brothers and he has 2 brothers. One of them was molested by this priest. So he's all like whacked out, almost has like the mentality of like a child. And then his other brother's a boxer, runs a boxing, what do they call it? A gym, and but he has Parkinson's disease from getting too many hits to the head, so his hand shakes. But he's still a badass. Right. But that's like his one character flaw. But out of all of them, he's like the most normal one out of all the whole family. He's like the voice of reason. So it's and then there's the father who just got out of prison, and there's a lot going on. So it's a good crime drama kind of show.
It's been interesting that I've watched. I think there's only like 13 episodes of it. But I was watching Son of Zorn.
I have watched some of those, and it's hit or miss. Like some of them are funny, but then sometimes it's like,
yeah. Like there was one.
But yeah, no, it's funny. They do a good job with it.
There was one where he's sitting there and he's doing something, and he's like, "Hit him with the hind."
Oh, he did.
Yeah, he did that. And then there was another one where Rick and Morty go through.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they kind of go through the living room, and he's like, "Who was that?" He's like, "They look cool. Why don't they come back? Can you make that come back?
That? Oh, wow.
Can you make them come back? Because they were cool." So obviously he's probably they're probably associated in some way, or he probably really likes that show.
Yeah. But it's the whole like normal people to cartoon is kind of funny, but sometimes it doesn't really. Like the mom sometimes, like some of her jokes are like,
Yeah.
Tim Meadows is pretty funny. The boyfriend, the black boyfriend, he's pretty funny, and just how optimistic he is.
I was watching
like
the one. It cracked me up because he's like, because the fiance was going to put on chapstick.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Okay.
And he's just like, what have I told you about chapstick? That's highly addictive. And he's like, let me have some. And he's just like, oh yeah. Oh yeah.
See?
Oh, so moist. Oh.
I remember the one that I enjoyed with the bird. He buys the bird for the kid for his birthday. It's in the beginning.
That's like the first
season.
episode, yeah.
No, it's not the first one. Is it?
Yeah, I think
it was the second episode. One.
The first,
because at the end he has to kill it.
Yeah.
Oh, you don't want it?
It was
and
the
he kills
first
it,
episode.
And at the end he's washing it out of the driveway.
It's funny because the girl that they had, because it was like she was like an Oriental chick.
That he liked.
Was in that episode, and then the second episode they changed her altogether. Like it was a totally different girl.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
And I was just like, oh, I wonder what happened.
Yeah, I've only watched a couple episodes of that, and it was like, I was enjoying it, but then I was like, some of the jokes are missed.
There's a couple of good ones. There's one where he's trying to show his son about his where he comes from, his country. And he's
he brings him there?
No, he couldn't bring him there.
Oh,
so
okay.
he was showing him like the son shows up with another girl that he likes, he's showing him the traditional garbs and like and his son's like a vegan, so the one guy he has the one guy, I don't even know who this guy is. He's probably the building manager, comes out dressed in like this fur, and he's like, "Oh my god!" He's like, "Did you kill those poor animals just to have them, on display?" And he's like, "No, they're still alive." And the one's like, "Help me, I'm in pain."
It's all skinned. Oh.
And and the guy takes it off and he's thrown it on the ground. He starts stomping on it because he's scared, and he kills it. And he's like, "No, I wouldn't harm them." He's like, "But I forget what the guy's name is. We'll say Larry." He's like, "But Larry just killed him. I didn't do it." And then he comes out with like this musical instrument that kind of looks like a bagpipes, but it's made out of throats of fallen victims.
Yeah, well, that's a barbarian for you.
It's just it kind of reminds me of like Thundar.
Well, yeah, that's what it's supposed to be, a play on like all those characters and stuff.
And it's funny, like the one episode he's looking in the mirror and he sees his bald spot. And he's like, "What's that?" He's like, "I've never seen that there." And he's like, "I'm not worried about it." He's like, "Nothing to worry about."
Does it get progressively worse?
No, it's still there. I mean, you just
okay.
see it in every episode. It's just kind of there. It's a very. It just kind of reminds me of like a Simpsons Married with Children type thing, where it's just like off the wall. Nothing's based in reality, and it's kind of funny just because of that.
Yeah, it harkens back to the. I don't know, when were they on? Saturday mornings, the old Hanna-Barbera cartoons with the Thundar and not even Thundar. It was Herculoids.
Right.
What were those superheroes with the three superheroes? One was like made out of lick water. Another guy was springs. Another guy was multiple man.
Oh god.
Do you remember those guys?
Yeah.
The dynamic trio, something weird like that.
Yeah.
They were like secret agents. And it was like 10-minute, 15-minute little cartoons.
Yep. The Herculoids. I remember that. That was a.
And then there was a superhero team that was like a guy. He looks kind of like Spock because he had pointed ears. And he almost looked like Spock, but he had white hair. But he would grow real big, and he was strong. And there was another guy that could turn invisible, and then the chick could turn into something else. Some superhero team.
All I can tell you
they were pretty cool.
Hanna-Barbera had some really cool concepts. They just didn't have the writing.
Oh yeah. Well, they can't do everything, Mike. Jeez, they were doing everything.
It was just. It's funny because I think that when they came up with certain concepts, they must have been smoking some major, some major weed that like something that not even you can't get legally anywhere on any planet. It's got to be the strongest stuff ever made.
Well, I don't know about that.
Because
it was all strong back then.
It was just some of the stuff like to let on TV a catchphrase for a dog to be Scooby Dooby Doo.
Yeah.
It's just like, what? Like
it rhymes.
But to have Doobie in it, and then it's just like it was probably it is still around. I mean, the show is still around. They have
because it's good,
and it's just one of those things. It's just like I can't believe.
Have you not seen most of the Scooby-Doo episodes?
I have.
So there you go. It's good.
I have.
I mean, the animation was pretty good, actually. I mean, if you think back, I mean, there was some cheesy part. I mean, they always made it more cheesy when they were doing the reenactment.
Right.
Like there was no wires before.
Yeah.
He walked right through the wall.
Exactly. Yeah.
No, but this is how he did it. No, it's not. That's not what I saw.
They used a hologram. It's like, what?
It looks nothing like it. That's not what I saw.
Or.
Like the ghost is coming out of the ghost was coming out of the ocean. It was all pissed off and then it faded away. I'm like,
yeah.
All right, so it's a real ghost. No, it was some guy. He came in from the side. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
That's not how they showed the introduction to the show.
Exactly.
It was all scary.
That's just like the one where they were in like San Francisco, and I guess there was like they were in the underground tunnels, and there was these demon bats coming after them, and you see that there's a whole bunch of them, and they're all like and their arms are moving and they're making noises. And then when they explain it later, it's like, oh no, it was just these dummies that they had
Wires.
on wires, and they were just moving. And I'm like, but wait, but they were making
That's
noises
not how.
and moving.
That's not how it looked. Yeah.
I don't know, just some of this stuff like remember Jabberjaw?
Yeah, that was another good one.
Jabberjaw, Rickety Rocket.
Yeah. He had Jabberjaw had the Three Stooges guy, Curly accent. And then Rickety Rocket blast off. Oh. Yeah, it was like he was a ghetto spaceship.
God. It was just pushing the lines of being racist. It was a rocket ship with big lips and peasy hair. And it's just like, how can this be let on the TV?
You watched it.
Oh my God, it would not go by. I mean, the censors would definitely. It wouldn't go past the censors these days. People would picket and riot over these things.
Well, if they would just watch it.
Even with watching it, there's no way.
But all the because I'm looking at pictures of it, all the kids were black with them, so it's a black spaceship with black kids. What's wrong with that?
It was just bad. It was just bad. Although,
what about the Mighty Man and Yuck, the little dog? Remember, he was like he was a little miniature guy, and he had this dog that had a doghouse on his head.
Yeah, because he was so ugly.
And he took it off, and it'd be like, oh! Yeah. It would like immediately that's if he couldn't defeat him, he would just have to have the guy take his hood off.
I remember
his hat off, and he would be instantly defeated.
And then they had I was gonna say Speed Racer. It's not Speed Racer. What was the one with the Speed Buggy? Remember Speed Buggy?
Yeah, that was kind of like, I think Speed Buggy was before Rickety Rocket.
Yeah, Speed Buggy was.
And I think it was supposed to be like its like space counterpart kind of thing.
I think Speed Buggy was Scooby Doo, but with instead of a dog, it was a car.
Yeah, yeah, man. He was always ground. I was like, yeah, that's awesome. How do you do that?
Yeah, and of course, remember they had the live action version of that?
No.
It was one where these kids were in a junkyard, and they found this horn. It was a magical horn, and they put it on the buggy, and it came to life.
Holy crap! You're kind of like, I'm looking it up on the TV, and I don't know. It looks. I'm looking up on TV. I'm looking it up on Google for the TV show, and I see it, and it looks somewhat familiar.
Yeah.
But I can't
Wonderbug, I think it was called.
I don't know. I must have. Yeah, I must have seen it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, if you had never mentioned this, I would probably never remember that existed.
It was just one of those shows that I remember watching it because you thought it was cool, and then you think about it now, you're just like, that was just so bad.
Cheats.
It was just.
Well, they tried.
It was just Speed Buggy, but just kind of, they explained it a little bit different.
Yeah.
But
it was a magical.
Just the TV shows that they had back in the 60s and 70s, just.
But they were awesome. They were just they were stupid for kids. Like, I guess, just saying that, when you look at today's cartoons, you're like, why would you watch this?
Oh, God, yes.
It must be the same thing.
Because
parents must be like, what are you watching this for?
What am I?
He's a giant shark, and he talks, and he makes jokes.
Yeah. That's like, what was this show that...
Captain Caveman?
No. That was cool. No, I'm thinking of... remember when the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers came out?
Okay. I never got into them. I thought, when I saw them coming out, it looked like it was a replay of like an old show, and I'm like, I don't remember this.
Right, and that's the whole thing. When it first came out, I'm like, what the heck is this? It looks really cheesy. I was thinking it was a Japanese show that they brought
and they dubbed
to the U.S. and dubbed it. That's what I thought.
Yeah, and that's what I thought too. I'm like, man, this is bad.
And then I watched a couple episodes, and I'm like, oh, God, this is horrible.
Yeah.
But
kids loved it.
Kids loved it. I mean, it's coming out again. They have the movie coming out. They have a new movie coming out, which is supposed to be a
I
little
don't
bit
know
more,
that I want to go see it.
it's supposed to be a little bit more grittier now. It's supposed to be
Yeah.
not so, foolish like the original one was.
Yeah.
But it's
Some of the actors, I think, get all whacked out, too.
yeah, well, you know how that is. You get a little bit of money under your belt and you forget where you are. But
But, the live action of Scooby-Doo, the guy who played Shaggy, did a good job. I mean,
he did a
he
great
wasn't
job.
Shaggy, but he was a good rendition
Right,
of
he
Shaggy.
did a great job.
Yeah, he did a good job. So I thought that was kind of cool. Actually, all of them looked okay as them. All of them did okay as them.
Yeah, I mean,
what are you going to do?
yeah, it's kind of hard to make your childhood TV show into a live action show cuz
Yeah, and have it be as good as you want it to be because it was a kid show.
Right.
I mean, it's a cartoon, so how good can it be?
Although I have seen a couple of comics on Blue Falcon. Have you seen that?
Mm-hmm.
Where they made him look
No.
really cool.
Good. Yeah. I mean, they're doing that for all the Hanna-Barbera characters, like Space Ghost. They did it for.
Oh yeah.
They explained his origin and everything. It was supposed to be pretty good. I don't think did I read it? No, I didn't read it yet. But also the Herculoids and Thunder, they're redoing a lot of them, or they're making them into comics and making them look badass.
Yeah, because the one that I saw, it was Blue Falcon was all pumped up, kind of like a Batman type of.
But he is a cool character. It's just he had his comic relief. If they didn't have Dynamite on there, it would have been a good show.
It would have, yeah. And then they made Dynamite look like this mechanical, monstrosity.
Savage.
Like he kind of looked like a dog, but just really beefed up and mechanical.
And is it a comic
looking.
or is it a cartoon?
I think it was a comic that they did.
Okay.
And it was really cool looking. I'm like, wow. See, now, why did he look like that when I was growing up?
Yeah.
And it's like Hanna-Barbera. Like I said, they had cool concepts. They just did not have the writing for it.
Yeah. Well, and again, they did everything.
Yeah.
They try to do I could do this, and this. They had the guys. Yeah, I'm looking at some pictures, and they're doing a lot of original renditions of them.
Mm-hmm.
Just the artists are doing a real good job at drawing them. Cool. I don't see this. I see a kind of a cartoony looking one, where Blue Falcon looks kind of like Batman from
the new series.
Dark Knight. The Dark Knight. Yeah. This one looks really cool. It's like a really good rendition of him. Blue Falcon and Dynamite. Yeah, that one looks pretty cool.
Yeah, they the things that they're doing with, and you know what it is? It's people like us from back in the day who remember their TV shows, and they go, wow, how can we? I want to bring this back to life, and I want it to be as big as I remember. And then that's what they do. They kind of, make it look like
that one. Okay, yeah, I saw that picture of that one too.
And you could.
But if you look at the page I just sent you, the very first one is like a rendition, like a painting of him almost.
Right, yeah.
And he looks pretty cool because I think it's almost like that one artist that does all the paintings and stuff.
Yeah.
I've played those superhero games like DC Online or Champions Online, and I've made characters to look like I've gone okay, I need a silver, and I've made them look like I think I made a Blue Falcon one time.
Did you?
Yeah, look pretty good. Yeah, it looked alright.
Yeah, sometimes they you can get that's what I used to like. What was the one we used to play the
Heroes
Online? Yeah. And was it Heroes Online or Champions?
Well, Champions is the latest one. Heroes was the one predecessor to it.
So Heroes, I remember when you could make
Heroes Online.
Anybody look like I mean, you could make a Wolverine, you could make an Iron Man. I mean, you could pretty much do.
There was a lot of costume choices that you could make any color.
And then, of course, Marvel had to sue and say it was copyright infringement. So if you
and people still did it, but
if you had a character that kind of looked like like that character, you got a notice. I remember I got a notice.
Really?
And
Oh, because you had Storm.
yeah, I had one that looked like Storm. And there was a notice, and the notice was, you had to change it, or they would change it for you.
And they give you a free change thing or
Yeah,
something like a free
yeah,
because sometimes you have to pay for it and stuff.
yeah. They would let you change the name and then change the look of it.
Oh, okay.
And I remember one of the characters I didn't change, and when I logged back on, like it looked totally different than what I had.
Was it like just generic or was it like?
Yeah, it was just very.
Did they actually put some thought into it?
No, it was generic. It was just kind of like they just
Okay.
threw something generic together. Like there's probably like 15 other people that looked the same.
Oh, okay.
And I'm like, what the hell was that?
That's funny.
Yeah. And I'm like, wow. But yeah, that.
But did you have the same name?
I think I changed the name a little bit, and
Okay.
and that's when they because I had a character that kind of looked like oh, what's her name from Teen Titan, the one with the blue hood.
Teen Titans.
Um,
The sorceress one?
yeah,
Raven?
Raven. There you go. I had somebody who looked like
Okay.
Raven, and I think I didn't say it was Raven. I think it was like, like I think I said it was like not Raven. It was like Crow or something like something generic,
Similar.
like another
Similar.
yeah. And I got a
Type of bird or
notice.
something.
Oh, it's too similar. I'm like, really?
Too slimmer. You must change
You
it.
must change it. It's too similar. But yeah, I mean, it was just.
But you know what's messed up about that? Because Marvel wanted to put out their own
yeah,
game,
and it was horrible.
And I think what Champions Online, that's where it got into. Champions Online was supposed to make whoever the guys were. They were supposed to make a game for Marvel. That's what they're developing all the different styles and looks. And then at the end, Marvel's like, you know what? We want to put our own out.
Yeah.
We want to put our own out. So you can't use any of our icons in that. And then they put out this game, and there's one that they have that was okay, but it's like the gameplay is.
Yeah, all the Marvel games that they've come out with are always like, like over the shoulder or top down view,
Yeah.
and it's just it's never been really great.
I mean, it's cool because you're like, oh wow, look, they really have all the powers that your favorite character has.
Right.
But then it's like the gameplay is like,
Yeah.
It's just like after a while, it's like I'm pretty much clicking the same 3 buttons.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I remember the first Marvel one that I played. It's like if you wanted to use Cyclops's, special beam,
Eye blast.
yeah, the eye blast, you had to like build up enough points to do it.
Oh really?
Yeah, so it wasn't like a, you can use it all the time. It's just like you had kind of like a limited amount of points, and if you used it up, you were done, and you had to build it up again, and it took forever to do it. And I was just like,
well, let's say doing that. Most of the games now they have that special power, but usually it's just doing you normally fighting it builds it up, but back then it was probably something a little bit different.
yeah, I think it was you had to collect like little crystals to build it back up again.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, so it was kind of like, if you didn't defeat all the people that get the crystals, because you could run through the game essentially till you get to a locked door, and then you had to fight all the people that were in that room.
Now you're not talking about the arcade one.
No.
The X-Men game.
No, that one was just totally that was just a coin eater. That's all it did.
Yeah. I remember when it first came out, I'm like, oh, this is awesome.
It was. I remember that. It was and then you could, your special powers, they only gave you so many, and then if you used them up, you were done.
And it's like, okay, here's Cyclops. What is he doing?
Yeah.
Okay, you can't use his optic blast. Then what does he do? What character is this?
Right. Yeah. All he did was just beat people up, and then you got to the end.
Martial arts.
Yeah. Then you got to the end where you had the big boss, and you had to defeat him, and you would use your special powers to defeat him, and it just wasn't strong enough to defeat him. And you're just like, well, what's the use of having this special power?
Yeah.
You save it, and then it doesn't do anything.
Yeah.
Nothing moves the
Well,
blob.
that's yeah. You needed to have several friends helping you with several hundreds of dollars.
Exactly. It's funny because I downloaded. I have a emulator for the arcade. It's an arcade emulator, and I had that game on the emulator.
Oh, that X-Men
Yeah.
game? Was it Rise of the X-Men or something?
Yeah,
like that?
something like that. Or was it the Rise of the Phoenix or something?
Oh, I don't know.
I forget what it was. But what I did was I started playing that game, and I don't. You would not believe how many times I had to continue, and I'm like, oh my god! And I'm playing with a keyboard, so it's not the easiest thing to play with a keyboard.
Yeah.
And I continued and got all the way to the end, and then when I got to the end with Magneto, finally beat Magneto, and if I was to beat him on my own, I probably would have spent like $25 just to defeat Magneto. And then the ending is just like, and you saved the Earth. And it was just like, nothing special. And I'm like, are you kidding me? So if you were in the arcade and you got to the end part of that, that would be so disappointing for the amount of money you just spent on that game.
Yeah.
And remember they
I think it was just called X-Men. It said four. Oh, it just shows on here the 4 worst and the 4 best X-Men video games, and I think that's not one of the worst.
Yeah.
I think it was just called X-Men. I don't think it was anything else to it. But it was the first one to have them kind of looking good,
Well,
so that's why people are like, "Oh, this is awesome."
If you remember, it was the original X-Men.
No, it had Wolverine.
Look.
And Storm.
No, but I mean, it was the original X-Men look. So it was like that, not with the jackets and stuff like that, like Jim Lee kind of drew.
Yeah, no, the before they got to the early 90s, very very early 90s.
Right. Yeah. It was. I guess it was just called X-Men Arcade. That's it.
Yeah, I'm looking at it here too. Yeah, that's what it was.
And then there was a coin-op like that with Spider-Man. Remember that one?
I don't know. What was it? Maybe. I don't know. I don't remember.
It was Spider-Man.
Maybe
Black
it was.
Cat.
Maybe I do remember. Yeah.
Spider-Man, Black Cat.
Yeah, maybe I do.
I don't remember the other two that were in it. Yeah, I don't remember the other.
I think it was again. It was. Oh wait, choose your hero. There was a Spider-Man, Namor,
Yes.
Hawkeye, and Black Cat.
That's it.
So I'm looking at a picture here.
Yeah.
Wow. I don't know if I remember that gameplay.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm looking at it.
Yeah, I remember. If you remember, when we used to go to Seaside Heights,
Yeah.
that was one of the games that was there.
Wow. Yeah, but I would have played it. Always would have played it. I just don't remember.
Yeah.
I'd have to see it in action because there's so many Spider-Man games that on the console that were pretty good. That's probably why it was like bad.
Yeah, it was.
I mean, I'm looking at a screenshot. It's just like them walking.
Yeah, it was. It was a lot
like,
of.
What is that?
It was a side scroller, so it was just walking with a little bit of like. It was kind of like Final Fight, something like that.
Yeah.
It was just it was kind of supposed to be a 3D environment, but it really wasn't.
Yeah. But again, that's them in the beginning trying to do something. Listen, we're putting this game out. We're gonna have our people work on it.
Exactly.
You just do the animation.
Exactly. And that's what happens. I mean, most of these, like if you were Mortal Kombat, before Mortal Kombat came out, it was supposed to be a video game based off of Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Really?
Yeah, it was a video game for him. So they were working with his company to make it. And then what happened was they decided at the last minute they were going to pull out. So what they said was, okay, fine. So we'll just develop this on our own because we've already got most of it already developed, and that's why Johnny Cage looks a lot like John
Okay.
Claude, because
Okay.
they kind of spoofed a little bit on him by leaving him in it. But
Yeah, I mean, if it's already made, why change it? Just change the color or something. No one's gonna say,
yeah, so yeah, I mean, and it's a big hit. If he would have just kept with it, he probably would have had this big hit on his hand.
Well, what you're saying? He kicked them out?
Yeah, he decided not to go ahead with the project.
There's a show about him that's out now. It's supposed to be like him as a real like him as a real spy, like not his action star people, but John Claude Van Damme as, I think it's like John Claude something, like a different last name, as like a real spy. So he's like doing spy stuff, but he's not very good at it. It's as if he's not an actor doing. He's like a regular person doing it, and he's like not good. Like he tries to do kung fu moves and he can't because it's now.
Right.
So there's supposed to be something, and it looked pretty funny, but I never checked it out yet. But
That is kind of funny. It's kind of like when what's his name became a police officer. What was his name?
Steven Seagal.
Steven Seagal. Yes.
Oh my God, really? He's just like all talk about stuff, and then he's like, "Yeah, I'm with the police."
Yeah. Yeah.
Mike, I don't know if you remember, my mother used to like. She would like to watch Steven Seagal movies just so she could. Oh, he's so fat. Like she would like to just watch it to make fun of him, but she would watch him every time. I'm like, why are you watching? Didn't you just watch this last month? Yeah, but he's so fat. And he's running around here doing this. So she liked to hate him.
Well, the heart wants what the heart wants, and she wanted.
Exactly. She would always watch it. Like, oh, he's horrible. Look at him. He can't even do the kung fu moves. Then why are you watching it?
Exactly.
I have to watch it.
Well, that's what she wanted.
I guess it just didn't make sense.
She, and it's funny because he. Have you watched any of that show? Where he's a police officer?
I think I've caught a couple of episodes here and there, and he drives along with them, and like they do everything, and then he steps out at the last 5 minutes.
Yeah, like there.
Hey, what's going on here?
Yeah, there was this one where, like, there was these guys like ready to like rumble and like get into like this, like they were ready to like beat each other up. I don't think there was any weapons involved. I think it was just more fisticuff type.
Of course
thing.
not.
And like he shows up, and they were just like, "Hey, you're Steven Seagal," and he's like, "Yeah, it's me." "Oh wow, can I take a picture with you?" And they forgot about them fighting, and they just were just like,
and that's how it works.
yeah. And then it was just kind of like, and in the end, he's just like, "Yeah, I diffused the situation by." It's just like, what?
But that's how it kind of was. Like he would like drive along, and he's like, "Yeah, I usually drive along with these people, and I usually go." Like he's like almost like telling like how he's corrected. Like there was a problem with the police, and he kind of got them back on track, and it's all because of this. And then they do something. He shows up at the end. Yeah, hey, what's going on here?
Yeah.
Oh, blah blah blah. Oh yeah. So hey, yeah. You guys better listen to the police. Like, it's just like he's not doing it.
Yeah, I know. It was. It's a really bad show. But you know what? That's that whole reality show craze around that time.
Yeah.
Everybody was trying to jump on the bandwagon. Everybody had to have a show, even if it wasn't good. I don't know.
It was a great show, actually.
We're just razzing it for
I'd
no
watch
reason.
Yeah, no, it was a nomi, and he got what's that award they get?
Image?
An Emmy award
Or
nominee.
Emmy.
Yeah, he got an Emmy award for that.
Oh, I thought you were going to say he's getting an NCP Image Award.
No.
Double ACP Image Award.
I don't think so.
For his work in the community.
Exactly.
Steven
Well,
Seagal
somebody had
shows
to do
up and
it.
goes, "Yo, yo, yo.
Somebody had to do it.
Yo, 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 homies. Don't fight. Whew, I need a burger."
They were all like, "Hey, Hey, look who it is.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny because most of the episodes, I think, are like that, where it's kind of like that. People are there's disputes and there's different things, and and then as soon as he shows up, they're like, "Hey, it's a celebrity. Let's forget about what we were arguing about, and let's, hang out with the celebrity."
And let's go on TV so we can get on TV.
Yeah.
Yeah, well.
And I think most of those things were staged anyway.
That's what I remember watching. I'm like, this looks like they're showing up and like, hey, and it just looks like there's not really much of a conflict.
Right.
And then he goes there, hey, maybe you guys.
Hey.
I was about to draw my weapon.
So, are we talking about him, or are we talking about Dave?
No, we're talking about
Hey,
Dave.
Put away that truck.
Yeah.
Hey, you. Put away the
I
truck.
diffused the situation. That son of a bitch.
Mike Metamity, look.
God, I hate him. I hated that guy, Mike. Like, he tried to call me one time and do, like, you know how they would do the calls, like, are you answering the phone right and giving the right... I was like, hey, is this Mike Metamity? Yeah, but they do it, like, on the speakerphone.
Right, yeah.
Not like picking it up and like, hey, yeah, I got a question. It's always like, hey, like from a distance away from the speakerphone so you can hear it. And you're like, okay, who is this asshole on speakerphone, first of all?
Right.
You're saying. And then you're like, oh, okay. Oh, hey, and I purposely, hey, is this Mike Metamity? Hey, what's going on, Mike? Oh, I was trying to do a training call. Never mind. I was like, okay.
Or what was the one where
you fucking try and call here?
Dave tried calling you, and then you went up to the booth, and he was still on the phone, and you're like, here, Dave, I found it for you.
No, it was Mike Metamity.
Oh, was it?
It was
okay.
Mike Metamity. When I moved to the location in Ocean, he called up for his current car that he had, and it was like a new or a year-old car, and he was looking for this thing that there's no reason he would like a window motor for like a year-old car,
Right? Yeah, because it would still be
or
under
something
warranty,
like that. And I'm like, why? And I'm like, why is he? And I'm looking down, and he's like looking back at me, and I see him like on the phone at the thing. I'm like, how is he not know that I know he's calling from there? So I was like, all right, you want to play this game? All right. So I'm looking, and there's no listing for this thing. And I'm like, the only way I can get it is like, you know, when you used to look up on the thing, it would give you an option to go to CarQuest or someplace like that.
Yeah.
So that was the only thing available. So like I put them on hold for a long time because I'm like, there's no listing for this thing. So then I finally went ahead and like, hey, that thing you were trying to order, it's not available through us. We'd have to order it through CarQuest, and I could get it to you by tomorrow. Oh, okay, thanks. Like, what the, you asshole.
Yeah.
It's just like they were so self-righteous. Do it to some other place. Don't do it while you're in the building.
Yeah. That was just...
Anyways.
Yeah.
Anywho.
Well, we've rambled long enough.
We're going to have a separate show just talking about Pet Boys.
Yeah, due to copyright infringement, I think we can't really...
Well, we could, because Mike Metami's dead, I think.
No, he's still working there.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
I thought he went to someplace else.
No, he's in...
Or to another
if you look
company.
at Indeed, he's still there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
What do you mean, Indeed? What's that mean?
That's a... professional website where you kind of... You can look for jobs, but it's kind of like a Facebook type thing. But it's
really?
it's for
Okay.
jobs, yeah.
And so he's what, in corporate or something?
Yeah, so he's there, and it shows him still working for Pet Boys.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I had looked it up with one of the other guys that knew him, that I work with, and he was just like, I remember that guy. So and then
And you're like, you don't even know the stories about that
yeah,
guy.
so then we looked it up, and he was like, oh, okay, because he used to be a DM for Pet Boys too.
Oh, okay.
And he was telling me some of the stories. He was just like, it was really not even like, he did nothing. He's like,
Mike Metami?
No, this guy.
This guy.
Because he was saying, like, they really, you could get away with doing nothing. But he wanted to work. But, it's just like they really didn't have much for him to do. And he was just like, I want to do stuff. I don't want to just get paid for doing it.
Not working is boring because the day's like forever.
Yeah.
Like you go back to like another day of like not doing anything.
Yeah. But yeah, we've rambled long enough, so we should probably
Yeah.
end this. Just to give you some updates, we have our YouTube channel now, Why the Long Face, where you can hear our blogs on there. So remember to like us and subscribe.
But will our video posting and the blog be on there both together?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, the video posting is our blog.
The game. But
Well,
they
yeah,
can
that's
watch the
gonna
game,
be-
or they can just listen to
That's
us.
we have Why the Long Face Gaming now, where we actually game, and you could see us play the game and be as ridiculous as we normally are doing our blog. We do it while playing a game. So go on to that channel. It's Why the Long Face Gaming. If you like it, like us, subscribe. The more subscribers, the better.
Send us donations.
Yeah, you can hear us, do our nonsense for more times.
More times.
So I'm Mike LeBoy. He's
Oh, that's me, Paul Romanek.
yes, and we just thank you for listening, and you have a good night.
More nonsense. More nonsense to follow.
More nonsense to follow. Yes.
Yes.
All right.
All right, folks.
Have a good night.
Have a good night.